Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to Pie in the Sky Tours. And do make sure you have a look around at the various videos which cover all things Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. In today's video, I'll be showcasing my best VR settings for the Quest 2 using the latest version of the OpenXR Toolkit, which was recently updated to Beta 3 Hotfix 1 version 1.0.2. This fixes issues with the Oculus runtime and DirectX 11. It greatly improves the image quality of fixed foveated rendering when using resolution of half times and/or an eighth times. It fixes the sharpening effect when using FSR and displays the motion reprojection rate in FPS instead of a fraction of the refresh rate. So basically this is great news for Oculus users because we can now utilize the fixed foveated rendering tool. So do make sure to check out my video on this tool in the link above to find out more. And if you haven't used the OpenXR Toolkit, check out my extensive video here covering all of the tools in the build so far. You can see here I'm flying over Toronto Pearson International Airport and it looks really detailed with this mod by Fly Tampa. And I'll leave a link in the description should you be interested in picking this one up. I'm not sure how happy ATC will be with my flying though. It's been a while since I've made a Quest 2 video, and this one's intended to be used as a guide, and I hope it helps you get your VR set up so you can experience Microsoft Flight Simulator to its full potential with your headset. I've noticed a real improvement over the past months with the Quest 2, and I'm pleased I've spent more time dialing it in. The OpenXR Toolkit runs really well, and I can see an increase of about 5 to 7 frames when using it with these settings. And do remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. It really helps me boost the channel and get it out to more and more people. So without further ado, let's take a look at the settings, and please remember that these work really well for me using my 3080 GPU, and the aim here is to get you started so you can tweak these until you get good results on your own PC. Please feel free to add your own settings, and do tell us what kind of results you're getting in your Quest 2. Here you can see I'm using the latest NVIDIA driver version 511.79. This is by far the best driver so far, and it gives me really smooth flying. Here are my NVIDIA control panel settings. Notice how all my settings are set for the program settings of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and not the global settings. Here you can see image scaling is set to global setting, which actually means off since that's turned off in my global setting. You can see the rest of my settings here. I won't go into every setting in detail, I'll just mention the ones that are quite significant in my opinion. If you notice, I've uncapped the frames here, but this is definitely something worth playing with, so you can actually lock it at 33 to about 35 and see if that gives you a more stable performance. And if not, you can also try it uncapped like this. I tend to do this because I'm getting higher frames now, and when I'm out in remote areas, I just like to let it go as high as it can. Some more settings worth taking note of is that I've got my power management mode set to prefer maximum performance, texture filtering is set to on, and texture filtering quality is set to high performance. I have the texture filtering anisotropic sample option set to on, texture filtering quality is high performance, texture filtering trilinear optimization is on, threaded optimization is off, vertical sync is on, and virtual reality pre-rendered frames is set to 2. These settings work really well for me, but you might want to experiment with some of them, such as a virtual reality pre-rendered frames amount. You can mess around with that and switch that about and see what happens. But this should give you a starting point with the 3D settings. Next, I've set the sharpness to 0 in the config file. For a full explanation of this, check out the video above and I'll walk you through the process. Hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is turned on and variable refresh rate is turned off. Game mode is also turned off. I always use the link cable to connect my Quest 2 to my PC. I'm using Oculus app version 38 and I'm running a refresh rate of 90 Hz and the rendering resolution at 4128 by 2096, which is 1.1 times. I still use the Oculus debug tool, and you can see here I've got asynchronous space warp disabled and link sharpening enabled. In the OpenXR Toolkit, under performance, I've got the overlay turned off, upscaling is set to FSR, anamorphic is off, size is 110%, which is 1804 by 1818. The sharpness is set to 40%. My fixed foveated rendering is customized, and I've got the inner ring size at 91%, middle resolution at 1/8 times, outer ring size at 91%, outer resolution at 1/8 times, and prefer resolution is vertical. Under appearance, I have the brightness set to 43.2, contrast at 48.5, saturation set at global, and the adjustment is set to 45.3. This gives me really vivid colours without being too much. And world scale is 95%, which works quite well for me in the Quest 2, and I've not touched the field of view, which is at 100%. I've kept the shaking reduction set to -30%, and that's for my butt kicker, and I use the same setting for both headsets. And here you can see my menu options. Again, for a more detailed video on the OpenXR Toolkit and how to use it, check out the link above. But these are my settings that work best for the Quest 2. and here you can see my in-game VR settings. I've got the render scaling set to 100. This is mainly because I'm using the OpenXR Toolkit. I've got the anti-aliasing set to TAA, terrain level of detail is 105, off-screen terrain pre-caching is ultra, terrain vector data is medium, buildings medium, trees high, grass and bushes high, objects level of detail is set to 100, volumetric clouds are high, text resolution is ultra, anisotropic filtering is 8 times, texture supersampling is 8 times 8, texture synthesis is high, water waves are high, shadow maps at 1024, terrain shadows at 512, contact shadows are high, windshield effects medium, ambient occlusion low, cube map reflections at 192, ray march reflections are off, light shafts are low, bloom is off, and lastly, glass cockpit refresh rate is set to high. I don't change these settings that much anymore, so these are what I've been using for with the Quest 2. I hope this tutorial helps you get the most out of your Quest 2, and please let me know if you've got any questions or comments, and I'll try my best to answer you and help you out. And do check out my video focusing on my latest OpenXR Toolkit Beta 3 settings, and see if it helps you push your VR experience to the next level. As always, I hope you find this content useful, and I look forward to making the next video soon. In the meantime, as always, take care, and stay safe.